Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Batiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789. KOG and Company. Are your unique gifts and talents changing the world? Do you desire to belong to a community of unity? Visit KOGpassion.com to learn more about the Unleash Your Dopeness movement.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to The Money Factor. My name is LaShonda Johnson, and I'm a certified financial educator and also the co-founder of the Houston Housewives of Finance. And
I am Tony Sanders, also a licensed financial professional and the co-founder of the Houston Housewives of Finance. And today we have a special guest.
Yes, we do. So we're very excited to bring another millennial to you guys this morning. But this is a special one because she has a heart for something else that we're going to talk about today during the show. But Tony and I have the pleasure of being able to introduce you our guest co-hostess, Mrs. Kiara Peoples.
Yay!
Yay! So say hello, Kiara.
Hello, everyone.
So we're excited about today's show because today we're going to get to talk about something that's near and dear to me. There's two categories of people that I really, really care about because they can't really do a whole lot for themselves. And that's children, of course. And then there's seniors because seniors are very important to us. I think they've paid their debt to society and they deserve to be honored. And so we're very excited, aren't we, Tony and Kiara?
I like that you said that too, LaShonda, before we allow her to introduce herself. You know what? Because if it wasn't for the seniors, where would we all be?
We wouldn't,
We wouldn't be. So, you know, I do. And I can appreciate someone so young having that kind of heart and passion for the senior citizens and people of like. So I'm excited. I'm super excited.
So today we're going first of all, we want Kiara to take a brief moment to introduce herself. But we're also very excited to be launching Secure Seniors, another arm of the Houston Housewives of Finance. So we want to make sure that we reach out to everyone in the community, and we want to make sure that we help them with things that matter to them. And of course, their genre or age. So we want to be able to take care of them. And so we're excited to have Kiara because she has a heart for seniors. So Kiara, give us a little information about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm Kiara Peoples. I am the brand ambassador for Secure Seniors, a new addition to the Houston Housewives of Finance. I also have I'm the People's Advocate, and so that's a healthcare company that relates to seniors and individuals of all ages. I have my bachelor's degree and I'm working on my master's degree in healthcare administration. Wow. So not only do I have like experiences home wise, and I'll talk about that later, but also I'm furthering my education into helping others.
I love it.
That's incredible. We're very blessed to be able to have us. I had the pleasure of meeting Kiara at an event, a Wealthy and Healthy event at a hospital. And man, we talked about, just being able to keep your health and wealth in line. And right immediately after, she came up to me and said that she was interested in finding out more about the Houston Housewives of Finance. She was interested in the healthcare community. And man, she had a tablet. She was writing stuff down. Wow. And ever since I've seen her, she had a tablet, and mind you, she was not licensed.
Right. Oh, I remember when she did it so quickly. I was like, wow.
This is a person who's about her business.
Right.
And so we're going to get a chance to talk a little bit more about her pursuit to assist seniors and why she chose that path. Because I know that it takes a special heart to be interested in the senior community. And, senior communities does not just consist of, older aging people.
No,
we're all going to enter into that community. Right. And so we're going to talk about that too. But let's start off first talking about a couple of things in the news. But oh no, Gary, can you put up our Secure Seniors Facebook page?
He did.
You
did?
While
she was talking.
I can't see. My peripheral not working.
It was beautiful. So, the colors were absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, so you guys please go like and share and follow the Secure Seniors Facebook page. Right. And you're going to be looking forward to seeing a lot of good information that will help, that age group.
And I think everybody on Facebook should do it. You know why? Because we all have, our grandparents, our godparents, whoever that is a senior, they need to be affiliated with something that concerns them. Yeah. And that's one thing I like about what we do, LaShonda, is because it's not just reaching our age group. It's just not reaching, it's every age group.
Yes. Yeah. And it builds communication through every line.
Absolutely. Because everybody needs something totally different. And man, I can't, we got so much. Hey, if you're not affiliated with the Houston Housewives of Finance, you should be.
Listen out.
Yes,
you should be.
Absolutely. Because we have something for everybody.
You know what? I saw this and it said, before we get started, it says, if you can't beat them, you better join them.
You
better get on board.
I love it. I love it.
Just saying.
Okay. So let's get into today's news. Okay, so this is pretty fitting because I wanted Kiara to talk a little bit about why she chose to help seniors and also to be able to, get her master's and everything in that area. It says why confusion leads seniors to turn down home health care. And so when I read that, I was like, wow. I thought about immediately what came to mind for me was my mom. When my mom, who, rest in peace, she passed away with lung cancer. And there was a lot of assistance that we needed to provide for her that we couldn't provide for her. And of course, she was ready to decline everything. Yeah. Because I think she saw it as her giving up her independence. Right. And she was, even though her body was ailing, her mind was still very functional, and it just really hurt my heart to know that she knew that she was going to have to be gradually. She was giving up her independence, and so this article kinds of talked about it, how this person just declines, knowing that, but the daughter stepped in, and so that's what I love about Kiara. Her last name is Peoples, but People's Advocate. That's so cool.
How fitting.
Isn't that cool?
Wow.
Yes, and stepping in to be able to be that voice for seniors when, they don't necessarily know the best choice to make for themselves. So let's go back to the article so we can read a little bit on it. So this is 84-year-old man who had suffered mini stroke was insisted as he spoke to a social worker about being discharged from the hospital. He didn't want anyone coming to his home. I can certainly relate to that. My mom was like,
right. That trust factor.
Said,
they don't know them.
They're like, right. And he didn't think he needed any help. But key word here, he's 84. So Kiara, what's your experience with those kind of situations?
Well, I have actually a lot. Either with my family, I had my aunt, she had a stroke. My uncle had a stroke. My dad has multiple sclerosis. So that's really what started me with my business and my passion with healthcare, because I've seen families, you get sick and you're so independent before that. But then when sickness comes, you're still in that state of mind, I'm independent, not knowing that, your current state is kind of shaky or is changed. And so I think that's why it's important with Secure Seniors and the People's Advocate. We give people tools to empower their situation, even though your status has changed. But sometimes you just need some little education or resources that'll kind of make you more stable. In the article with him having a stroke, it is kind of the best idea to have home health care, but it's best to have someone guide you through that. Like you said, sometimes people don't trust the person coming into the house. So you make sure that you assess the company that you're working with. Right. You make sure that, their background is clear, their statistics, how do they treat their patients, what services do they offer. And so that's kind of what I'm into, giving people that education and the resources of things to look out for, because, this is your loved one and this is your home. And I believe it's more important to stay at home, but Absolutely. Have the best quality of life, but so many times, people are forced out or they're forced into these services, but they don't really know what to look for. So I think the article title is a great title, because so many people are confused. They don't know where to start. They just know they got sick. Someone's offering something, but they don't know if it's good or not, and so that's why you have so many cases that end up kind of negatively.
And you know what it makes me think about? It makes me think about my own mother-in-law, who is 86 years old, and I thank God for her every day. She is a very well woman. We had only one incident a few years ago. However, we have a large family. So the extended people that are there to help her, but I'm thinking about the people who don't have loved ones there to help them. They need someone like you who are, there to provide the resources that they need and the support, because it takes a lot.
It takes a lot.
It takes a lot. So again, I commend you for, stepping up and stepping out to help our seniors. And because there's so many people. Have you ever thought about that, LaShonda?
Yeah.
So many people. We have loved ones. Your mother was blessed to have you. But what about all the people who don't have anyone?
Exactly. Yeah.
Who don't have anyone?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a couple of people on Facebook who are chatting with us, so we want to chime in and take a look at the comments there. Hey, Wendy.
Yeah.
She says, why
She says
my
her
dad will receive help because of...
He said will not receive
will not
help.
receive help because of trust factor.
Yeah.
Hey, Wendy.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, Wendy. Well, this is true. I mean, like I said, I went through that with my mom. And my mom, man, she refused everything. And then, of course, I was her advocate. And I stepped in and I would no, Mom, I would have to explain to her why she needed it. Because, when you get older as a patient, also, you're not compliant.
Yeah. No, at all.
You're not compliant.
No.
My mom was not compliant.
Yeah.
And so I had to explain to my mom, you need this help, and so she trusted me, so she would kind of calm down and submit. But it took some, some tugging and pushing and pulling.
Right.
So so for a person that doesn't have somebody close to them, how do you have that conversation? And you come on the scene, you're brand new.
They don't know
you.
you.
Get them to trust you.
To trust you.
Well, this is something I had to pray about, because I think a lot of people see me as being young and they're like, who are you to, say you're going to take on this role? But I feel like the testimony behind why I got started is the best way to win people over. And then after I share why I'm so passionate, I really don't have questions afterwards. I'm the only child of both of my parents. My dad had multiple sclerosis since I was a kid. And so I had to take on that caregiver role. And, that's hard as a kid, but you step up, you do what you have to do. And so I've seen the ins and out of being a caregiver. I've worked in the hospital, from the emergency room to telemetry floor to assisted living. So I've seen every healthcare facet, so I've seen being the clinician to being the patient, if you get sick. And so I understand. And I always try to translate that into my work to make sure that, sometimes you go into these facilities and they're so rough, and so I believe that my experience and also my education, I'm able to talk to people. I understand that you may have kids or you may have relatives that's helping you. So I believe that they have to be empowered too. We have this generation that doesn't maybe know as much, or they don't give back to the older people. So that's something I like to promote,
yes.
And it's your grandma, she's getting older. There's things that she may not be able to do, but you can do it. Little things, go a long way. And
you know what's sitting in my back of my mind right now as I listen to you speak? I think that everything that you've gone through to this point has set you up for this moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything that you're talking about for this moment right here, right now, that you can be, because you've experienced it, you've gone through it, and you're going to be that. Your testimony is going to help other young people to say, you know what? I need to reach back and I need to help my aunties and uncles, and I need to help my grandparents, and more so your own parents.
Yeah.
And we all have them, aunties, uncles, and grandparents. And speaking of this moment right now is where that time in the show that we talk about our sponsor.
All right.
And so our sponsor for this portion of the show is Elite Dental Wellness. So we want to make sure that we explain to you guys what they do. So at Elite Dental Wellness, our vision is to create a welcoming practice that will offer exceptional dental care and a lifetime of dental wellness. We're committed to the finest possible oral care and the overall health and well-being of our patients. Elite Dental Wellness is built upon a foundation of integrity, expertise, and service. Through our commitment to modern dentistry, continuing education, and friendly atmosphere, we strive to make our patients feel that they are a part of our family. Dentistry can be scary, daunting, and uncomfortable. Dr. Batiste and her team work tirelessly to ensure your comfort. Make your appointment today with Dr. Ashandra Batiste at Elite Dental Wellness at 713-789-8680. So you guys reach out to them for your dental care needs. And I getting back to our topic here, the article, it talks about people being confused. Confusion has a lot to do with not just elderly people and seniors or people who are embarking upon their senior years, but confusion has a lot to do with finances. People are completely confused about a lot of things they need to do with their finances. I don't care what age you are. Right. And we experience that every day because we're making decisions without the right proper education. And so that's why
that is so good.
Yes.
Because if we could just reach those people now, and then when they get to those senior years, they're in a better position because of the work that they did in their early years.
Absolutely. So
it just makes so much sense.
It makes absolute sense. We have income producing years and we have non-income producing years. And so one of the other articles that we want to share with you is just, hey, how applicable the financial foundation, because we've been talking about it,
right.
We were talking about debt. The next thing on top of debt is an emergency fund. And I want to share with you guys, listen, there are stages in our lives that we go through when we talk about our finances. So we have Kiara, who's a millennial, and then Tony and I are Generation X, and then you have baby boomers. Each stage in your life, there will be things that you need to address in your finances. So let's look at this article because this one is really good. It's talking about baby boomers who are struggling with having an emergency fund. Wow. So just because you enter into your latter years of your life doesn't mean that you still don't need to have an emergency fund. Wow. So Tony, you want to?
Yes. Let's just talk about the picture for 1 second.
That they're scraping pennies.
They're scraping pennies.
Scraping pennies.
That is real.
It's real.
That is so real. So it says 32% of baby boomers have no emergency savings. Wow.
That's scary.
That's very scary.
And when you get to that age and that stage in life, how many things do you have to prepare for that come up out of nowhere?
Let's first talk about the medication that they have to buy.
Oh my goodness.
And that's the non-compliance. People can't afford to buy medication. So it's like, am I going to eat this week or am I going to get the medication?
Oh, that just breaks my heart.
And you don't want to be in a position to have to make that kind of
decision.
Eating or taking care of your health care. Yeah. Yes, but people
real.
are doing it every single day.
Yeah. Wow.
It's really sad.
You know what? I didn't think I knew that this was going to be a difficult one right here because my mother-in-law, and I'm thinking about when my grandmother, when she was living, but those two people that I've had in my life have been so fortunate, but it makes me think about the people who are not. Mm-hmm.
And then, I feel like there's so many resources that people are not aware of. And that's why I think it's important for programs like this to bring awareness to resources, in the community and, give those people that sometimes don't have access or they don't have transportation to some of these programs. But the more we can spread the word and the more we can go out into the community, that more people we reach, and I think that's so important.
I'm just so happy to have you on board.
I'm so excited.
Wow.
I
have to tell you, I was not expecting all that you're bringing and then your testimony itself. I am just overjoyed to have you to just to take this and say, you know what, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to make sure that this group of people, they have exactly what they need, and it's so important to have the resources because that's exactly why we don't win.
Yes.
Because we don't have the know-how. You don't know what you don't know, and until somebody brings it to you, because there's not anybody really who's coming up to seniors saying, hey, let me help you.
No one.
Nobody.
But we are here at the Houston Housewives of Finance official, and right here through the Money Factor and through other mediums that we have available too. So right now, you guys, it's that time that we're only here for 15 minutes with you live on Facebook. So we need you to go to the Sphere and like and subscribe and share and comment and donate. And yes. So yes, absolutely. Go right now. This moment, Facebook live portion is going to end, but the show will not end. So you need to subscribe so you can make sure that you watch the show in its entirety. Okay. And do make sure that you check out the donate button. Okay. You guys, write us a review. Let us know what you think. And also you can donate as a patron one time, or you can donate as often as you would like. We would love to hear from you through the comments. Please make sure you share it. This is valuable information, and we want to make sure that everybody gets it. So let's continue with the show.
Absolutely. We're going to read the article, but I see that Wendy is continuing commenting, and I really appreciate you, Wendy. She says, look, she says, I would hire a caretaker to sit with them for a week until my loved one felt comfortable with the caregiver, and then let that something be able... My camera will be on the house at all times. So what she's basically saying is,
she can observe
what's going on, because that is so true. Because unfortunately, there are those people that are out there who do take advantage of our loved ones, of our seniors, and it's just really sad. So you must make sure that you do your homework. Make sure that the facility that they're in, that it's a reputable company, and that they're doing what they're supposed to do. Because I've heard some really horrible.
And Kiara, is that something that you will support people in with the People's Advocate?
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I do. The People's Advocate. It's like a consulting company for healthcare services of all kinds, from long-term care to home health. I actually assess the company and the client based on their physical and financial needs. I make sure that it's not just a random person coming in. I make sure that company has, credentials, because like I said, I've had that situation. Like my dad, he lives in long-term care right now, so I'm hard on them, and that's why I kind of work hard to change for my dad. And so but Wendy, you can contact me later, because that's exactly what I do. I make sure that I treat your loved ones like my loved ones, and I make sure that they have the care on the budget that you have. So we can work with
awesome.
that.
That is awesome. And did I mention that Kiara is also a licensed financial professional as well? This girl is just a few years into her 20s, and she is killing it. I mean, I'm with you. I'm very excited to be able to have her aboard. But you can see the sharpness, and then the passion. The passion.
Oh my goodness, the passion.
Yes, and just because she had to live through these things in her own personal family, in her own personal experiences.
They say experience is the best teacher.
And that is the best teacher. And then you can always know that someone who's had to walk in those shoes would do the best for other people. So you guys, please, Kiara, can you give us your contact information? Everybody can reach out to you.
My email is on the screen. I do have a Facebook and an Instagram account under the People's Advocate. I have a contact number, but if you go to my website, it's peoplesadvocate.net. And so you can find all my information there. Like I said, you can contact me on social media or my website and get more information. We could definitely set up an appointment.
Yes. And you can also inbox her too as well, through the Secure Seniors Facebook page. So that's a way to reach out to her as well. And of course, you can reach her at 1-844-700-4463. And you can reach Tony and I at LaShonda J at HoustonHousewivesOfFinance.com.
And I'm Tony S at HoustonHousewivesOfFinance.com. Of course, you can reach us on all our social media outlets. On Facebook, we are the Houston Housewives of Finance Official. If it doesn't say official, it's not us. So, with that being said, let's get back to the article, because I really want to see what has to be said. 32% of baby boomers have no emergency savings. As the economy turns around, Americans are saving more than they have in the last 7 years. Still, nearly a quarter of the population have no emergency savings, according to Bankrate.com survey. To be financially empowered, financial planners recommend that people have 6 months worth of expenses in case of an emergency.
We sure do.
All the time. Having an emergency savings also allows you to take advantage of the opportunity, says Bankrate.com chief financial analyst. Savings help one take advantage of new job opportunities, celebratory events such as weddings or personal investments. At a very least, having 6 months safety net may bring peace of mind, since 65% of Americans reported of losing sleep over financial stress, according to creditcards.com.
Oh my gosh.
That's
really real.
That's real.
These are real issues, you guys. I mean, and knowing that these things are so real, how can we be passive in addressing it?
Wow.
We've got to become, the Saving Your Future book says that we're active spenders but passive savers. And not only are we passive savers, but we're passive about addressing things that we know we're going to have to deal with. As Americans, we're living older, living to be older because we have, great medical technology. So just look at it. If the average lifespan of a woman is 88.8 years,
right,
and a man is 86.6 years, you're going to have to deal with some of these issues.
You're going to have some of these issues.
So we're bringing you information and education right now so that you can start preparing for the inevitable. And if you don't address it, I mean, we have to start removing the blinders because we get to these points in life and we think, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was going to happen.
You just said the key word. It's all about planning.
You got to plan.
You have to plan. And we say it all the time. If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail.
And this is an area that you don't want to fail.
Right.
Because listen, if you set yourself up right, then your kids will not have to be left with the burden of trying to figure out what to do with you or for you.
Yeah, right.
True.
And so that's hard.
That's definitely hard.
I mean, you said you had to deal with your dad growing up as a little girl.
As a little girl.
And so, I mean, what if this would have been available for you and your family?
Yeah. And that's what I always think about because, I am licensed, and so when I was preparing to take my exam, I found out that if you qualify for long-term care insurance, you qualify for home health. Now, like I said, my dad is in long-term care. We had never heard of that. So that's why I'm really passionate because it's like I have like a responsibility to educate people. I feel like I can't sit on the information because I didn't know, so if I would have known back there, we could have maybe changed something, but that's okay. We're working on it now, but there's another family that may need that same information.
Absolutely.
And, we can provide it. So, I'm excited for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
you guys.
Well, they're talking about providing. So let's go to the portion of the show that's sponsored by, of course, the Sphere.
Yes.
I love the Sphere. Are you starting your business and looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world and build your brand or sell your product? If so, get the product placement and the advertising needs handled right here at the Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, is surely to hit the mark every time. Call us today at area code 832-772-7789 or send an email over to advertise@thesphere TV. I'm so excited. The Sphere, hey, if you're not aligned with the Sphere, you should be. I'm telling you, something's wrong with you. This is the podcast of all podcasts. Let me tell you something. We hit every mark every single time.
Yes.
There's nothing on the Sphere that we don't offer. You need it, we have it.
Yes, and
have it.
shout out to I can't even remember the person's name that reached out to me through email and said you guys' money factor popped up on my iTunes.
Wow.
And so he said I didn't know anything about it. It just popped up in my iTunes. You know who you are if you're watching, because he says ever since I saw it, I've been watching it every Monday. And so you guys, please like, share, and follow the show. You definitely want to subscribe to the Sphere. It's incredible information that's being disseminated here, and I know that it is inspiring dialogue that you can use.
Absolutely.
I know that for a fact.
And it's just not the money factor. Like I said, there's so many different topics. Let's take a look. 3 Hues, which we had the pleasure of spending some time with on last week.
Awesome.
It was awesome. It's a la carte activate. All things beauty, docs. G is for gentlemen. Hashtag injustice. Intermission. And my glasses won't allow me to read Society Now. It says Startup Masters. Hey, KG and Technocrats and the Boom Bap. And of course,
hip hop. The Money Factor.
I love it. I mean, Gary Lee does a phenomenal job. Phenomenal. I can't say enough about the Sphere TV and how we've grown the Houston Housewives of Finance
through this medium.
Yes, absolutely.
It's incredible, and we're very and excited about every time we have to come here Monday and bring you information.
On
and
Mondays.
It's Money Mondays. Hey, this is awesome. It's awesome. So let's get back to the articles. Now, this one, go ahead. You can finish, Tony.
Okay. It says, ever since the recession, the consumer attitudes have changed towards savings. McBride said 31% of Americans have enough savings to cover 6 months expenses. That's just 9% increase from 2015. But just because the recession resulted in Americans being more conscious about their financial situation, more risk adverse doesn't mean that they are able to start saving right away. It took a while for people to get back on their feet. Absolutely. We know that. We see that all the time. It says now that we are seeing more broad-based growth in the household income, we are seeing the needle move, McBride said. Americans fill more jobs and securities reported higher net worth than a month ago. According to bankrate.com, women reported the highest feelings of financial security in 2 years. McBride attributes this to an increased comfort with debt, meaning these women have paid down debt, thank God, refinanced debt, or recently received a promotion. So that's good because, you know, we see a lot of articles about women really not taking care of their financial responsibility. So it's good to see that we are paying down our debt.
We are paying attention. And also I wanted to say this, you know, this talks about 33% of baby boomers not having emergency funds. And some of us say, oh, I'm not a baby boomer. But
do you have it?
But here's the thing, you know, you still need an emergency fund. It doesn't matter what category of age that you're in. But here's the thing. If your parents don't have one, guess who has to supplement that?
You.
And if you don't have one, when you do become, you know, a senior, guess who's going to have to help you?
Your children.
You know, somebody's always got to help somebody. It's a cycle. So who's going to break the cycle? Somebody's got to break the cycle. So why don't you make that be you? You start with creating an emergency fund. Teach your kids to create an emergency fund. And then now there's better generations coming to flow through later because of the education.
Right. And that's exactly what it is the education and us leaving that that legacy, just not of the finances, but, you know, the education. Because if my grandmother would have taught my mother could have taught me, and then I could have taught my child. But I thank God I have the information.
So now you can teach your child.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And so, Kiara, what are some of the things as a baby boomer or a senior that you need emergency funds for?
Well, I feel like you'll need it for living expenses. Well, you know, the traditional stuff. But the thing that I talked to my aunts and my uncles about, you know, they're getting older. Like I said, I have family members with different illnesses and stuff like that. So I was actually talking to my aunt yesterday. We were talking about long-term care, and she prefers to stay in home. That's fine. That's a great goal. But we have to plan for it. So I think about it like, you know, if you have vacation or you have an event, you try to lose weight. And so you said, you know, how many weeks out you're going to start dieting. Finances are like that. You know, if you want to, you know, say, well, you know, I want to have in-home care. Well, home health costs a lot, you know, and if you don't have the proper insurance, you know, you have to save so much out of that, or else it's going to cause everything else to falter, and then you're going to have issues. So I believe it's best to start early. Look at what applies, what can you get approved for. You know, you want to start your insurance early because at a certain point or a certain point in your health, then you're not qualified anymore. So, you know, the earlier, the better. Think ahead of where you want to live, the quality of life that you want to have, whether you want to downsize or want to upgrade or you want your kids to live with you. You have to think about all factors before they hit you, because then it's too late.
Yes. So, yeah. And the next article that we're going to talk about is going to talk about some of these exact things that she's mentioning. But I want to say to you guys, we do have a workshop that addresses these issues. It's retirement planning. It's workshop number 4. And so you have to come out to the workshops. And our address is 2500 East TC Jester, Suite 345. That's Houston, Texas, 77008. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. So you guys come out. I mean, we get further deep into these topics, including Medicare, supplements, when you have to apply, what's the time frame, you know, what, you know, all these things we discuss them in length.
This is a great workshop, number 4, for even.
I love it. It's my favorite.
Yes. You know, for even children of seniors to come out, and so that you can have the information so that now you can be an advocate for your loved one.
Absolutely. And I can tell you how difficult it is to navigate through some of these things.
Goodness.
I mean, I'm licensed and I didn't realize there were so many different programs. And I'm thinking about a senior who would just be faced with having to make those decisions without understanding. It could be very complex to understand. So we need to understand these things for ourselves and then for our loved ones. And then, of course, if you just don't want to deal with it, there's people like Kiara that can assist you in that process. But you guys, you have to get educated. there, we've got to get rid of this passiveness about we don't need to know anything, or I'll deal with it later. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Well, the bridge is already here.
Right.
And when you're crossing that bridge, that's not the time to figure out which way to go. You want to know clearly the direction you're headed.
Absolutely.
When you're crossing that bridge.
But I think it is a culture, like a lot of people are scared to know, like we know we don't know everything, but it's like going to the doctor. I don't want any bad news. So we push it off and we push it off. But it's like you can't be scared because really, I mean, you may not get it the first time. There are some things that may be over your head. But the more that you ingrain and try to learn, the more you understand it. But you just have to take it bite size, because
I like that.
they don't set it up so you can understand it fully. But if you just try to work at it bit by pieces, because it is essential, it is something that either you're gonna plan to have right now or you're gonna just oops, I need it now. But you're going to have it. So it's better to understand it while you can take the information in rather than have anything forced on you. You can make your own.
Right.
Like
Same thing we say about our finances.
That's right.
If you don't have a plan, then you plan to fail. And if you don't have a plan, then the government has one for you. And you might not like it.
You're not going to like it.
I'm telling you, hey, this is, open your ears, open your eyes, wake up, smell the coffee. Applied knowledge is power, not just knowing. Right. You have to apply what you're getting, the information that you're getting, apply it. And I like that you say in bite size.
I love that.
You don't have to, there's a saying, how do you eat an elephant? Well, one bite at a time. You can't swallow the whole elephant. Right. Well, that's why we have the money factor, so that we can bring you information on a weekly basis that you can adopt, understand, and then apply.
Love it.
Okay. Awesome.
I love it.
So let's go on to the next article, because this one talks about, slashing your retirement costs with these 5 tips. Some of the things that Kiara talked about. So Kiara, you want to jump into this one?
Yeah. Slash your retirement costs with these 5 tips. Seniors on a fixed income need all the cash that they can get. Here's how to lower your expenses and stretch your budget as far as it can go. Living on a fixed income poses a significant challenge for many retirees. Unless you're willing to work part-time in retirement, once you leave your career behind, your options for generating extra cash will be limited at best. That's why it's critical to stretch your existing budget to the greatest extent possible. Here are a few ways to reduce your expenses in a big way. Number 1, downsize your living space. That large house and yard undoubtedly served you well when you had kids living under your roof.
Absolutely.
But if you're an empty nester with more space than you know what to do with, it may be time to consider downsizing.
Yes, this is a good one.
Point.
Really good one.
And I like that it's number 1 too, because your household expenses have a way of sucking up everything that you have.
Right.
It will suck you dry.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the first place you need to look.
And we always tell people, because me personally, lately, I've been coming across seniors who would want to purchase a home. I said, no, this is not the time that you want to purchase a home.
Yeah. Well,
you don't want
that home will probably outlive you.
Probably.
Yeah. And I say probably because you have some that can afford to go in and fund it. And if that's you, then that's great. But however, if you're buying a home in your retirement years, then if you're looking at a 30-year mortgage, just kind of do the math.
Right.
Yeah.
Do the math, and 2, we encourage our clients to walk into retirement already owning 80% of their income and not having very little or to no liabilities. Yeah. That's really the way you want to retire. And so in retirement, you can also move around some assets, to work for you. There's a lot of things you need to do. So even in retirement, you still need to sit down and have a personal financial strategy.
Absolutely.
Some of the things that people say that are in retirement, and I don't know about you, Tony, but I get this a lot. Oh, it's too late. I wish I would have known this 40 years from now.
It's never too late.
It's never too late, because when you get to 50 and up, you have a whole new set of challenges that you have to deal with when you talk about your finances.
Right, absolutely. So before we go on, let's go to the next portion of the show, which is sponsored by KOG and Company. Are your unique gifts and talents changing the world? Unleash Your Dopeness is a people empowerment movement to build, encourage, and masses to operate outside of their fears and have the gall to recklessly pursue their dreams and passions in life. Join the thousands of others as we unlock the greatness that dwells inside. Shop at Dope Gear at KOGPassion.com. That's KOGPassion.com, and use the coupon code DOPE for a 10% off exclusive Unleash Your Dopeness apparel. Act now. Sizes are selling out fast. I just love this Unleash Your Dopeness.
Unleash your dopeness.
Because you're unleashing your dopeness today.
I know.
I'm trying.
You are. So let's continue on and let her continue reading the article.
Okay. So we talked about downsizing your living expenses. What's next, Kiara?
Okay. Number 2, give up a vehicle. If you live deep in suburbia, going without a car probably isn't an option. But if you reside in a city or live with a partner who also has a vehicle, getting rid of one car could make a major difference in your finances. AAA reports that it costs about $8,700 a year to own a vehicle. But even if your car is fully paid off, you'll still have the insurance, maintenance, and repairs to deal with. If you have other options for getting around, unloading a vehicle could put over $700 back in your pocket each month.
Wow, $700.
I believe that because
$700
yes,
$700.
because my mother-in-law, who doesn't drive but she still maintains her vehicle, and you have to think about the upkeep because she recently had to have some work done on the vehicle, the insurance, and that's all money that she could have, but she does not. Absolutely, but she don't want to let go of that car.
Which I understand. It's like that independence thing, but
again, they don't want to give it up.
Yeah,
they don't want to give up their independence.
I was just talking this with my aunt again. Same conversation. Long-term care. You know, it's one of those things we have to plan ahead because either you're gonna let it go or you're forced to. Because some people moving into long-term care, they're forced to sell their houses because they have to qualify for a certain income bracket, which is so sad. You know that you're kind of forced out of the situation. But if you would have planned a few years ahead,
you could keep your assets.
Yeah, you could have kept it, or it could have been turned over to your family members or something. But that's why we're supplying the education now. So now you have the knowledge. You know, let's plan ahead, and you won't be in that position.
Love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love it.
And I'm thinking about too. I mean, some people you really do want them to get off the road.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, know when it's your term limit.
Okay, so they allow you to drive. Okay, but anyway.
Poor things, and you see them too. They're on the road and they're barely going.
Oh my gosh, why don't somebody help them?
Right.
I mean,
they don't want to because they don't want to let go of that independence.
Yes.
I know, and that's the biggest thing too. I was having a conversation with Kiara earlier, and I was saying, you know, some of the issues that seniors deal with is number one, that's the first thing. They don't want to give up their independence, and they don't want to be a burden
to anyone.
And, you know, and it's an insult to them if you even have any kind of idea that they don't understand what they're doing, what's going on. I know my grandmother, before she passed, she went blind. And she went blind because of cataracts. And I mean, we knew she had cataracts, and the doctor kept telling her, "You have cataracts. We're going to have to do something to take them off, or you will eventually lose your sight." And she argued with us. I can see. I was like, my mom would say, "What is that over there?" And then she would get mad. But she didn't want to give up the idea of, you know, she didn't want to let go of that she couldn't see. Right. She knew, you know, it's just, and that's that thing. So that has to do with your health. But when it comes to your finances, man, you have a whole new set of things to be planning for. Kiara's talked about 5 times she's mentioned long-term care. Long-term care, again, you guys, is inevitable because we're living longer. And eventually your health is going to go on a decline. So prepare for that right now. When you're healthy, because you cannot buy long-term care when you need it. You have to buy it when you don't need it. So that when you do need it, it will be available to you, because insurance companies don't want to sell you something when you need it. And so the only thing you can buy when you need it is homeowners insurance. And when I say when you need it, when you buy the home, that's when you buy it. But if you have a disaster happen and now all of a sudden you want to call up, I just got hit by a tornado. Well, they'll sell it to you, but they're like, it doesn't cover the tornado that just hit you. It'll cover future things. But you guys, we gotta be more active in taking care of these things. We really do. Let's go back to the article.
Number 3, enroll in Medicare on time. Though coverage through throat coverage under Medicare begins at 65. Your initial enrollment window opens 3 months before the month of 65 of your 65th birthday and ends 3 months after the month you turn 65. But if you fail to sign up during that 7-month window, you could end up paying more than you need to for Medicare Part B, which covers doctor visits and diagnostic services. Specifically for every 12th month period you go without coverage upon becoming eligible, you'll be penalized in the form of a 10% increase in your Part B premiums.
Workshop number 4.
Yeah.
You need to come to workshop number 4. It talks about this, gives you the time frames. If you work for someone, when you need to sign up for it,
Right.
That is your health care as a senior citizen. That is your health care. It's not optional.
Yeah,
It's not
optional.
You don't get to say, I don't want that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like this is where education comes in, because I just recently learned that in the Houston area, United Healthcare actually has open enrollment all year for their supplements. And so that's why you kind of really have to ask questions of what's available in your community, because, you think that Medicare is only available a certain period of the year, but some programs have it open all year. It just depends on what you need. And so that's why I think it's so big to empower yourself. Understand like what you need. Don't just take the doctor's word. Don't just take the insurance company's word, because they have a different method of thinking and like a different they're working for somebody different.
There's a
I don't know
will,
how to
there's
say
a
it.
way.
Yes, so
You
you have
have
to
to find the
advocate
way
for yourself to make sure that every option available for you is you're getting everything that you need. Don't take someone's word for it. You find the information. You ask questions. If something doesn't feel good, then you bring it up.
Right.
Because people are only human. Sometimes they forget to tell you something, so you go out and search for yourself.
Again, that is why you are so important to the community of people, because you're going to bring the resources to them when and when they need it, because they don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't know. And nobody's advocating for the seniors.
Yeah.
When is the last time I never even knew of anybody that would say, okay, look, I'm going to help you with the resources, because generally they're relying on their children to do it for them. Their children don't know.
The children don't know, and they have their own lives, and they just pick a long-term care facility, or they pick this company, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm just, that's just what happens. But wouldn't it be better if you had this person say, okay, here's a list of what this person specializes in, and I already checked this worker, and so when they come to the house, I've already cleared their background, and I already trained them on what you specifically need. If you had a stroke, there's a special way to deal with a stroke patient. If you have multiple sclerosis, there's certain things that you have to know about multiple sclerosis. Or if you have eating disorders, or you have problems swallowing, there's a certain way that you have to handle that patient. And so sometimes it's just too general, service, where it's just like, oh, okay, we just throw somebody
and you're
at
not considering.
Yeah, it's not customized to that person. And so sometimes that's why it's gaps in healthcare. There's like people that fall through the cracks, because it's like, you don't really understand what I need. You're not catering to exactly my situation, which, I know it's hard, but it needs to be more of that,
Absolutely.
Wow. Power. Knowledge is power. And then you apply it, man, you cannot be stopped.
Right.
So I like that, she said, understanding what you need. And so understanding what you need and then having a resource to get it, that really puts you in a position of strength.
That puts you right where you need to be.
Absolutely. So
Right
let's
where
go
you need
back
to
to the
be.
article, see what else it has to say.
Number 4, dine at home. That's a good one. Tempting as it may be to take advantage of those early bird specials, if you're looking to save money in retirement, dining at home is a good way to do it. The typical restaurant charges a 300% markup for the food it serves, which means a 15% or $15 entree can usually be prepared for a mere $5 at home. Right. While dining out on occasion can be a worthwhile treat, the more you cook at home, the less you'll spend on food overall.
Wow. I'm thinking, you think about it though.
It's so true.
Do you see that markup?
So we're paying
Man.
$15 and it really costs just a few
$5.
dollars.
Yeah.
$5. Well, I mean, speaking of markup on things like that, I understand that now, because of course we just completed yesterday another meal prep class.
Yeah.
And we were talking about these things in the meal prep class, how much it costs you to prepare things at home versus going out and eat them and eating them. And I'm
thinking, okay, that's not even including the tip, the gas to get to your destination.
No.
Wow.
No. And then they upsell you, of course.
I'm cooking
Oh, yeah.
tonight.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
cook. I had my meals prepared for the whole week.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. But you guys, as a senior, I know it's tempting to do that, and then, places like Denny's offer those senior discounts and things like that. Well, if they freed you for free, go.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can't blow your budget as a millennial, as a Generation X, or a senior on food.
Right.
We have to change that too. That's where most people spend the most funds unnecessarily is on eating out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, eating out.
We see it all the time. So you can see it doesn't stop as a senior. They still want to, go out and kick it too.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, you got to figure out where to pull back so you can save more.
Right.
Spend less,
save more.
Mm-hmm. And so even as a senior, this applies. So number 5, Kiara.
Okay. Number 5, lower your tax bill. When we think about living expenses, we tend to consider everyday necessities like groceries, electricity, and clothing, but taxes can be a significant expense for seniors as well. Thankfully, there are a number of tax breaks available to seniors that can result in some serious savings. If you're still working, contributing to a Roth IRA is one of the best ways to lower your taxes in retirement. That's because Roth IRA's withdrawals aren't subject to taxes, nor are you required to take them at any given point in time. Traditional IRAs and 401ks, by contrast, impose required minimum distributions starting at age 70 and a half, and once you're forced to remove funds from a non-Roth IRA account, you'll be subject to the taxes that go along with them.
You will.
You sure will.
We've said that you cannot just park funds indefinitely in traditional accounts or qualified accounts. These are accounts that you've saved in today with a tax deferment, which means you're going to pay taxes later. So 70 and a half is the cutoff. You've got to start taking that money out because Uncle Sam owns a portion of that and he wants his share. Mm-hmm. And so if you don't, you're penalized for that. So again, information you must and need to know. And so another thing that people are concerned with, Tony and Kiara, is when they get to their senior years, prolonging that retirement because they're not continuing to contribute to it.
Right.
So how do you make that income stretch? How do you make continued growth happen in your non-income producing years? Well, you have to schedule an appointment with us to sit down so that we can show you. So these are things that are applicable to you at this stage. So then it's like, well, I've already saved. I wish I would have known this years ago. This would have helped. No, you're in a different stage of life and you need different information. And especially you need to learn how to have continued growth on your assets that you've already accumulated and understand minimum required distributions.
Right.
Understand the tax implications, make sure you have a good CPA. We're not CPAs. We're not giving tax advice, but we know the rules. We know you will have to pay when you save in a tax deferred place. And you need to understand if you even have a tax deferred retirement account.
And it makes me think about, as a senior too, you never want to outlive your money. You definitely want your money to outlive you.
Yes.
So I think that a personal financial strategy is definitely what you need at this time to make sure that, everything, all your ducks are in a row.
In a row. Yeah. Absolutely. You have to have one even at this stage of life. And speaking of this stage of life, we're going to look at the Saving Your Future book because there's a few things that we want to touch base on there before we conclude today. Social Security, you guys. Social insecurity is the way we need to just rename this thing. Mm-hmm. Of course, it was a government program put together that we can contribute to in our income producing years. However, one of the pages here, and I think it's on page 75, Gary, it shows the chart of when you can start receiving Social Security. Mm-hmm. And so, they're expanding the time frame because of the funds that are are available to be able to be passed out. So you look here, Social Security is funded by current payroll taxes. Did you guys hear that? Current. Mm-hmm. So those of us who are contributing to this now, that's not going into this nice little account that's drawing interest for us later. Thus, the shrinking pool of workers per retiree will be a big challenge to the system. We don't have enough people working to contribute to this. But just take a look at this chart. The following chart lists the full retirement age by year of birth. So, listen, 1960 and later, we're talking about 67.
Wow, that's us.
That's us. So, if you're waiting on Social Security, first of all, you can start receiving benefits early at age 62, or you can wait until full retirement age. Of course, Early retirement will give you fewer benefits. Who can afford to have fewer?
Right.
We need all of it.
I need all of it.
You know, you want all yours. But if you start earlier, then of course they're gonna shave some off.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, remember the three-legged stool. And I think that's located, Gary, on page 74 in the Saving Your Future book. Page 5 of the Saving Your Future book, the three-legged stool. And we're going to look at it. Personal savings, company pensions, Social Security. Company pensions, that part of the leg is about to be knocked out from under us.
Gone.
It's becoming extinct. Companies don't want to take care of you for the rest of your life because your life is too long.
Mm-hmm.
And then Social Security, we've already talked about the challenges with it. Not enough funding. By the year 2037, there's only expected to be paying 70% of the expected benefit. And then now you have personal savings. So your personal savings is the strongest leg of this stool.
And then we just said people are not saving.
And people are not saving.
Right.
So you're not going to be able to sit on this stool. If you don't get it together. You're going to fall. I mean, it's going to break. It's not going to be sturdy, you guys. So your personal savings is the strongest leg of this stool, of the three-legged stool. Don't depend on Social Security because they're telling you already, don't depend on us. We'll supplement.
Right.
But we're definitely not the be all to end all. Don't do it, y'all. Don't do it. They're warning us. So listen, make sure that your personal savings is strong and solid, which leads me to our tagline: solid, safe, security for secure seniors.
All right.
Absolutely. So you guys, please contact us to get the Saving Your Future book. You need to read it. You need to have it. It's a guide. It's going to help you all throughout your life, in all stages of life as it relates to your finances. So to get that book, you need to contact us at 1-844-700-4463. Workshops, again, Saturdays, Tuesday 7 p.m., Saturdays 10 a.m., 2500 East TC Jester, Suite 345, Houston 77008. And to contact me, I'm LaShonda J at HoustonHousewifeOfFinance.com.
And I'm Tony S at HoustonHousewifeOfFinance.com.
And I'm Kiara Peoples at peoples.advocate1@gmail.com.
Awesome. Okay, you guys. It's been an incredible show. Please share this show. Please.
Like and share.
Like and share. Like and share. Go subscribe to The Sphere and then make sure that you tell people who have parents or everybody has parents.
Yes.
I mean, but
any older,
you know, if you have to take care of a loved one, you definitely need to share this link.
Yeah.
Share this show, okay? And of course, all of us are going to be there one day ourselves, so we need to take action on the information we provided. So we'll see you next time, same place, same time here on The Sphere. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.